Happy Black History Month, everybody. Oh, it is so good to see everyone here for this historic day. We are having our first annual ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com presents Black Entrepreneurs Day at the State Capitol. To all my black business owners, y'all made it, baby, through the COVID. Yes, you're looking good. It's cold outside, but we heating things up in here because we want some of that $17 billion and we ain't going home till we get it. Come on now. To all our allies, you are not sticking out. You are sticking up for black business owners, and baby, we thank you. Now, y'all know we don't do nothing till we go to church, so we gonna have a quick prayer. Because you know what? We didn't make it by ourselves. And then we're going to hear from the GOV. Who's down with GOV? Yeah, you know me. Okay, we got to do that. Y'all know how to do it. Who's down with GOV? Okay, white allies, get with your neighbor. We're going to do that. That was practice. We're going to do that when the governor comes to speak because he could have been anywhere else today, and he is here with us. So Marsha Carter, the motivator, my life coach, as well as the CEO of Going Beyond Ministries, is going to give us a quick prayer, and then we're going to hear from the governor. Welcome, Marsha.
Praise God. Well, thank you everyone for coming. This is so exciting. It's historical, but if we can just, God, we just let you. We love you. We appreciate you. Let your wisdom and integrity reign in every leader that is here and that represents you. Keep our goals simple, but keep our intent fair. Help us to uphold the laws that will keep our community, our state, our country, and our families safe. God, give every leader, every entrepreneur, and every politician a strong sense of their destiny and remind them of their accountability not only to each other, but to you. Raise up strong leaders in the Congress and that they will stay the course and work tirelessly to foster peace, fairness, and justice for all. Amen.
Now, this is what happened when you're born in Black History Month. You got to do something historic. So, the Crown Act is being signed today. Yes. And the governor's going to go and make that a reality. He's going to sign that. That means that we can wear our hair however we want without being discriminated against. But you know what? We ain't gonna have no barbershops and beauty shops to get our hair done if they don't get some of that surplus money to the black business owners who have the barbershops and beauty shops. So the Crown Act is amazing, but we can't get them dreads done. We can't get them locks locked up if we don't get some money to the locticians so they can maintain their businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others the amazing governor of the state of Minnesota who cares enough about our people to be here with us today. We have to support the people who support our people. Now, you white allies have practiced this. We are almost ready to do it one more time. I need y'all to be on cue and beat. You down with GOV? Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Tim Walz.
Wow. Well, I've had the privilege of doing this job for 4 years and a few days, but I'll take that introduction every time. So, Sheletta, thank you. And I'm going to do a point of personal privilege in the People's House. We're also here on a very special day. Yes, we're going to sign the Crown Act, and we're going to sign Juneteenth as a state holiday today, too. Legislature's doing incredible work. I'm going to put a plug in. I'd kind of like to see Election Day be a state holiday, too, so we can all make sure we're out there voting. But it's also another really important day. It's Sheletta's birthday. So I don't know if this has been done or not, but I'd like to lead you in a happy birthday to Sheletta. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sheletta. Happy birthday to you. Well, again, this group knows what happens when you put somebody in charge who cares about community. Also seeing all of the allies, the support, the corporate sponsors, all of the people who are making this happen. Let's be very clear. We're not asking for anything special here. We're asking that our black entrepreneurs be treated in a way that allows them to thrive and do the work that they need to do, with an understanding that traditionally those communities are put at the most risk, whether it's inability to get capital funding, whether it is the systemic issues. We saw it during COVID. The black community was hit hardest. They were hit harder health-wise. They were hit harder economic-wise. So for the state of Minnesota to truly be the best place in the country to raise children and have a family, we are never going to get there until every single family and every single entrepreneur feels like they have a chance to thrive, feels like they have a chance to move forward. And to be clear, if the black entrepreneur community is doing well, the rest of the state will be doing well. The other businesses will be doing well. And so the focus of bringing you to the Capitol today to focus on the resources that were necessary, to make sure you're hearing from the people, whether it be in the executive branch who carries these out, or making the appeal to the legislative branch to put more funding in, to put more programs in. This is how democracy is supposed to work. And these programs need to be easy enough for small entrepreneurs to navigate. They need to have access to things that aren't going to take them massive amounts of time or massive upfront costs. And to all of those corporate sponsors who are here, who are really, truly working to make this an inclusive state. We don't just say equity and inclusion. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Yes, it's the morally right thing to do, but our economy will never thrive unless we are truly showing that that is happening, that entrepreneurs have that access. So the programs that we're putting in, the surplus that Sheletta talks about, was generated on the work of folks here, folks who took their businesses through the most disruptive time in American history almost with the pandemic and the economic disruptions that happened. And here you are today, still standing, with an expectation. All right, we've learned, we've done some things. We can't continue to stand in front of people and talk about opportunity gaps in learning, opportunity gaps in home ownership, opportunity gaps in businesses, opportunity gaps in access to capital. We've admired that problem enough. We have admired that problem enough. We patted ourselves on the back for a lot of years, acknowledging that it was a problem. No one here wants to hear that it's a problem. They want to see a set of concrete steps to alleviate those problems, to allow for folks to thrive, create the generational wealth we know we need to create, and to be able to make sure that every family, and I want this more than anything, I want black entrepreneurs, black professionals, black families to view Minnesota not what they saw on TV in the end of May in 2020 and the murder of George Floyd. I want them to see thriving businesses with people engaged in their community, creating jobs and making a difference, and feeling that their children are seen, heard, valued, that their businesses are seen, heard, and valued. And let's be very clear. It's a day of celebration today as we sign the Crown Act, but how did we get to 2023 where black people are discriminated against because of hairstyle? Here we sat. No one's going to tell us that we're beyond this. No one's going to tell us, why are you doing Juneteenth for that? Well, it's a day of celebration, but let's be very clear. It's a day of education on that day to tell people what had happened, where were the systemic issues, and what we're going to do to be going forward. So being here, expressing your voice, leading and organizing with an expectation to be treated fairly with the respect that we need is what Minnesota needs. So as governor of Minnesota, I say thank you. as a citizen of Minnesota, I say thank you, because all of us in this state will benefit by the effort you're putting forward today. So partnerships matter, friendships matter, proclamations matter, but you're business folks and entrepreneurs. Results matter. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show where it's coming from. That's part of what you need. With that, I'm going to turn it to my friend who keeps me true to the cause every day, understanding that, to be very clear, this place hasn't always been as warm and welcoming to folks. In fact, in many cases, it was meant to keep certain folks out of this place. Those days are gone. Let me introduce you to our great Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your house. And I hope that you have had an opportunity to visit Miss Nellie Stone Johnson in the hallway behind me, who is also on Sheletta's denim jacket and t-shirt. The lovely Sheletta is wearing a denim jacket. But what a great event to start Black History Month. I hope that you feel seen and heard and valued and welcomed in this place, in your house, in our house, that belongs to all of us and none of us simultaneously. A place where dreams are dreamed, and now our hope is that they are truly able to be realized. A place and a space where the legislature more accurately reflects the community than it has ever before. And every single election cycle, it looks more and more and more like Minnesota, and we're not going to stop. I think today is powerful, and as the governor mentioned, our budget proposal highlights small businesses, especially small businesses owned by people of color. And every Minnesotan deserves to dream and to succeed and have opportunities as their neighbor, the same opportunities as their neighbor, no matter their race or their zip code, their gender, their sexuality. And we know that when we invest in Black entrepreneurs, we are strengthening the entire ecosystem, the entire economy, the entire future of the state of Minnesota. The governor and I know, and we have heard how hard it is to start your own small business here in Minnesota. That's why we want to be your partners and actively focus on providing much needed support for small businesses and tackling the issues that small business owners may face, especially entrepreneurs of color. So we're proposing $2.5 million towards Launch Minnesota, which provides additional grants to Minnesota entrepreneurs. Our budget also includes additional dollars for the Angel Tax Credit, which has already resulted in $500 million in private investment in Minnesota startups that will help communities across the state create wealth by incentivizing investment in companies with founders who are women, people of color, Native folks, veterans, and those who are headquartered in greater Minnesota. And then finally, our budget also makes sure that paid family and medical leave will become a reality here in this state for everybody who needs it. No one should have to choose between a paycheck and taking care of a sick loved one, a new child, and that is the future that we have here for ourselves here in Minnesota. But let me just say this. As the governor said, this hasn't always felt like a place where people have been welcome. This hasn't always felt like a place where our dreams, the dreams of community, can really flourish. But we are changing that day by day. And let me just lift up Miss Sheletta for a minute. Because I do whatever it is she tells me to do. And I know that y'all are probably the same way. And sometimes when I'm on her show, I get in trouble because I'm just talking to my friend and I forget that there are thousands of people listening to our conversation. But this is the power of Sheletta to convene, to challenge us, to make sure that we are living up to our full potential. And as the governor said, show me the money. So we hear you. And there's a lot of opportunity. I think we're going to run as hard and as fast as we can in the time that we have in this space, and we will hand it off to the next. But I promise you, we're going to do good work. We're going to do it together. And I'm honored and humbled to be in this work with all of you. Getchi miigwech. Thank you so much.
Y'all get him another round of applause. Don't act like they didn't have somewhere else to be and they stopped in here with us. Now, this event is not possible without partnerships. Y'all signed up for a raffle to win $1,000. That does not happen because I don't have no $1,000 to give you, okay? But I heard from so many business owners who said, I gotta close down my store and lose half a day of sales, otherwise I can't come. So the St. Paul Saints, Hilden Advocacy and Law, and Grey Duck Spirits, my favorite business in the whole wide world, awesome vodka, each donated $1,000 so that you all could have an opportunity to win a grant. No essays, no nothing. Old school church basement raffle. Put your name in there. We're going to draw 3 of them out and give you the money. Now, we got food downstairs provided by our friends at the Minneapolis Chamber, and Jonathan Weinhagen has been so gracious in making sure that this event is amazing and that we eat. He was so concerned about y'all eating. I don't know why. I was like, they could get some sandwiches at home when we're done. But I wanted to ask him to come up and say a few words because the Minneapolis Chamber is doing something amazing for all of us, whether we live in Minneapolis or not. He's been helping me with my business, and I'm all the way out in Cottage Grove. He real little, but I could still see the top of his head running this away. Come on, Jonathan, so you can say a few words to the peoples. Welcome, Jonathan Weinhagen with the Minneapolis Chamber, because he got something he want to tell y'all about some money coming. So y'all listen. Hold on, listen, some money coming. Okay.
Well, thank you, Sheletta, and thanks to the governor and lieutenant governor for being here today. But most importantly, thanks to all of you. You know, when we talk about the work that the Chamber does of building this economy, it's not the work that we do, it's the work that all of you do. Each and every day, taking risks, hiring folks, putting yourself out there and making investments. And today is the day to reinvest in that work, to reinvest in that vision. So I am so excited to be a part of the first Black Entrepreneurs Day. I'm excited for the stories that you're going to tell our policymakers throughout the day. And I'm super excited to hang out with all of you and have some lunch. And I think that I'm one of the things standing between that, so I said I would be brief. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for all of the work that you do and for being here today.
Now, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, I met Senator Carrie Dietzig, and she has been committed to all people of color in Minnesota. She has passed legislation on our behalf to keep our kids safe after Philando Castile died, and she is now the Senate Majority Leader, okay? She has, come on now, that ain't no easy win right there. And I can honestly say that this woman cares about us. She has given me every piece of help with Bahia and the team that I needed to make sure this event was successful. And I owe her a debt of gratitude for this amazing and historic day. So welcome, Senator Carrie Dietzig. Melissa Hartman here too, the Speaker of the House. Okay then, we got like a double mint, 2 for 1, okay?
Hi, everybody. Yes, Sheletta, I thought I'd, phone a friend and bring along a friend. So, good morning, everybody. I'll be brief. I just wanted to really say thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting us to join you. Thank you, Sheletta, for all your hard work. I got to give a shout out to this lady. She is so committed to the community. She works so hard. It doesn't matter if it's getting carbon monoxide detectors to people to make sure they don't die when you can't smell that in the winter, to events like this. She works hard and she puts it out there, and I am just so honored to have her as a friend. And I will agree with the Lieutenant Governor. You can be having conversations with her, and it's just like you're chit-chatting like you would at a coffee shop, and you forget everybody's listening. But she worked hard on this, and so I'm honored to be with you. And as she mentioned, I am committed to making sure that we have an economy that works for everybody. We saw during the pandemic that some people kept chugging along and they didn't have problems, and other people, it really impacted them. And the recovery is what I call a K-shaped recovery. Some people are doing really good, and others are still struggling. So the budget document is a values document, and I want to make sure that this budget reflects our values, and that is so that everybody, it doesn't matter your race, your religion, your sexual orientation, or who you love, or your zip code, people in Minnesota should be able to succeed, and we want to make sure they succeed. And so again, in my partnership here with Melissa Hortman, that's what we plan to do. And so welcome to your state capitol. And now I'm going to turn it over to the speaker.
Well, it's great to be here. I was just telling the Attorney General, he said, you're loving this trifecta. And I said, yeah, because we're getting things done. We passed Restore the Vote and Juneteenth in the Minnesota House yesterday. Felt pretty good. And we're just getting started. I had a mommy minivan for 15 years, and then I got a Tesla. And that's the same transition we've gone to from divided government to a trifecta. Like, baby, we're going to go as fast as we can. We're now in the little red Corvette mode. So we do have a lot of work ahead of us because Minnesota has inexcusable, unforgivable disparities, whether it's in lending, whether it's in employment rates, whether it's in educational achievement. And we have a lot of money right now, and we have a DFL trifecta. So this biennium, we should be really able to attack those disparities in housing and employment and banking. And this partnership is ready to get as much as we can get done in the time that we have. So thank you for your partnership and being here at your state capitol.
Now, I don't have to tell y'all that sometimes, because we are Black entrepreneurs, we're first-time business owners, we sometimes don't know exactly where to go or who to call. And sometimes people will solicit us, and sometimes those people will be scammers. They'll take advantage of us. And we won't know until after we gave them a credit card number. And we're like, girl, should I have given him my PIN too? Because he had asked for the PIN and I gave it to him. And now I got some money missing up out my account. I have to tell you that I have been told all you have to do is call Brother Keith, okay? Can I get an amen? Because this man takes care of us. He takes care of our businesses. He takes care of our communities. And we have an open line of communication. If somebody tries to take advantage of us, Brother Keith will take care of them. So please help me welcome our Attorney General, Keith Ellison.
Let's hear it for Sheletta, everybody. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You know, I am blessed to live in North Minneapolis, and I love to be able to go to the eatery right up there on Broadway, I love to be able to go to Houston White, get a haircut. I love all these Black businesses that we have, and, really, these businesses are not there only so the entrepreneur can make money. Now, making money is important, right? But they're not only, no successful business ever established was only about making money. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's a lot of ways to make money, not so good ways. What you see when you see these businesses being established is dreams coming forth. People wanting independence and trying to fulfill critical community needs. That's what it's about. People who used to work on the construction site as a carpenter saying, I can be a general. People used to work in the kitchen saying, I can own the restaurant. Somebody used to be a PCA saying, you know what, I can provide these services for people who need the help. It is the fulfillment of a dream. seeing a need. There's a lot of new Americans and they speak a lot of different languages. I know how to speak that language. I'm going to have a translation service, right? These are the kind fulfilling a critical community need. That's what these entrepreneurs are doing. And as they do it, what they do is they create social space. They create wealth and independence. They create strong neighborhoods. They create job opportunities. In case you didn't know, here's a secret for you. Employment discrimination based on the skin you're in is a lot lower when you work for a black-owned business, if you're black. It's true. Now, that doesn't mean that African-American workers shouldn't be able to work anywhere. But it does mean that the hassles are a little less. That's just a fact. We can prove it. It's in statistics. So my point is that there are so many important things. And, you know, when I come from the city of Detroit, and, you know, every Detroiter knows the name of one black-owned business that is called Motown. And we have a swell of pride, even if all we've ever done is bought a record. And so these businesses are not just owned, they're technically owned by you, the entrepreneurs, but they're really owned by the people who support you. The people who come in and buy coffee every day. The people who say, you know what, thank you for picking me up with your transportation service. And I want you to understand there is a spiritual element to what you're doing. It's not just a matter of dollars and cents. It's a matter of fulfillment of a dream, meeting critical needs, and giving good service that people rely on and believe in. And you know what? We've been excluded from that. And you all are rushing into it. Let me say this, and now I'm going to close. Your presence here is so essential. Let me tell you about business. Let me tell you about America. Government it's like a coin. Government's on one side, business on the other. And if you think it's only a one-sided coin, you're about to get a regulation that's going to impact your business. You better know something about what's happening at City Hall, at the county, at the state legislature, and in the federal government. Millions and billions, and even nowadays, trillions of dollars flowing from the public sector to the private sector and back. And if you can't somehow access that because you don't know where to go, know who to talk to, you're going to not be successful. So for your presence here cannot be, well, no, I'm just about my business. I'm not worried about government. You better get worried about government because government's worried about you. Do you have a permit? Did you pay the tax? You know what I'm saying? So your presence here is so important, and it's important to know what the Attorney General does. The Attorney General does not only help consumers, and guess what? Most of y'all you look a lot like a consumer when you start that business. You might have who started a business with a credit card? Who took out a personal loan to start that business? You can get ripped off just like any consumer. You all, the Attorney General's office fights for any ratepayer of a utility bill. Your utility bill don't look right? Your business should call us so we can fight for it to be fair. My point is, you've got to know how to find the help you need when you need it so that you can be successful, so that you can meet your payroll, so that you can create jobs, wealth, and economic opportunity for all of us. I'm going to wrap up by telling you the mission of the Attorney General's office is now, and has always been since I've been there, to help people afford their lives. That's what we take. There's not one staff member. I got a staff member over there. Do I tell all 350 of y'all, Alex, do I say we are here to help people afford their lives and live with dignity, safety, and respect? We always say it. And part of helping people afford their lives is to help you be successful. And I want to say some of y'all charge fees in our private sector for-profit businesses. Some of you are nonprofit businesses. You both are what? Businesses, and you have to be successful. And so I just want to say, call on your AG. Don't be a stranger up there. We're here for you. And let me tell you, as I walk off the stage, I am so incredibly proud of all of you, and I wish you all the success in the world. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Now, This event was just something organic that happened. I was at a Comcast Rise event. Some of y'all were there. And the commissioner of Deed was like, you know, they've got $17 billion and you guys should call your legislature. I said, honey, you don't tell black people there's billions of dollars available. We going down there. We're going to knock on the door and tell them what we need and expect them to respond. And Comcast got behind me and made sure that this event came to pass with their sponsorship. So I'm going to ask Otis Artist with Comcast to come up and say a couple of words because we owe them a debt of gratitude to making sure that we had this access and this opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am so proud to be here at the first Black Entrepreneurs Day. Give your hands, clap to everybody. This is a celebration. And on behalf of Comcast, we are proud to sponsor this event. As Sheletta has already introduced me, I'm Otis Artist. I am your Regional Rise Coordinator here in the Twin Cities. And this event, we just love that it was inspired by a Comcast Rise event where she said Commissioner Grove was there. Sheletta moderated it for us. And so over the past year, just here in the Twin Cities, we've awarded $2 million, $10,000 each to 200 small businesses here in the Twin Cities alone. They didn't hear it, right? $2 million. And on top of that, over 200 plus in marketing and technology makeovers. And I've worked personally with a lot of you here today. I know Dana's gonna be up speaking. We worked with her and countless others. Comcast started the Comcast Rise program in the heat of the pandemic to help those small businesses continue to strive forward. People of color, women-owned businesses, where we started off with. We've got an ongoing commitment to continue to help you thrive, and today is another example of that. Thank you, and continue your success.
He mentioned Dana. I'm going to have Dana come on up here. The reason that we are here is because Dana was had the only African-American female-owned grocery store, Mini Row Market in Hopkins. She was selling Minnesota-made products. She was putting black bakers and candlestick makers on the shelf when nobody else would. And because Dana did not have the support she needed, that business wound up closing. And I need Dana to know that we are here because of her. We are going to support and love Dana back to where she was so that it's even better than it was before. And that's going to take all of us standing up for ourselves and for her. So I want to ask Dana to come and say just a couple of words because we just love her and we celebrate her and all of our black entrepreneurs today.
Thank you, Sheletta. Hi, everyone. All right, I'm not a public speaker like Sheletta, so I wrote it all down, but thank you all for hearing me today. Sheletta told me I'm speaking, so here I am. My name is Dana Smith. Me and my husband opened Mini Row Market 2 years ago. We were a small retail store that focused on Minnesota products and goods, and then we used those goods on a deli and breakfast menu. So I am here today to advocate on behalf of small minority business owners. Access to capital and services is what a business needs to start and to grow. Access to capital allows the business to ride out the habitual highs and lows in sales that occur in any business. Lack of access to capital and recognition was a key reason we had to close our doors. And today I'm here to ask everyone to ensure that businesses of color get a fair share of Minnesota's tax dollars, grants, and services, and then use these small businesses for contract work, whether it be at the government, using your deli services, if you need catering services, if you have a database that can list black-owned businesses, and that would be helpful. As a small business owner, I know the day-to-day struggles that occur trying to start up a business and stay afloat. Of course, I appreciate the work Sheletta is doing to bring attention to the fact that businesses owned by people of color are being left out of the process and not receiving the support from the state. Sheletta was the first person to interview us on her radio show, and she was the only person to cover our closure when we closed. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity to bring this request to you all, and our dream will still live on. We believe that Mini Row Market will be back again. So, thank you.
We are not asking our government to do anything that we haven't done ourselves. As black business owners, I've had people to pour into me, and I've poured into other people. I see Devonna, and she knows we're always getting her products and sending them out to people. That body butter got me smelling good, girl. I don't even want no Palmer's cocoa butter no more. Get that Vaseline out of here. Give me Devonna Pittman's body butter, baby, because we are all smelling like lavender up in here right now. But I've never seen anybody do it like Anissa Keys. Anissa Keys bought a bank, and she rehabbed it and offered office space to black business owners at a discount. She even offset some of their rent. And then when I thought that wasn't just mind-blowing and amazing, I found out that she was giving away money and mentoring small business owners, young people like 20, 23, 24 years old, every Saturday. This woman got kids in her own business, and she's doing this. And we have to remember that as we wait for our government to catch up with us, it's up to us to help us. Like the prophet Nino Brown said, the prophet in the book of New Jack City, 1st chapter, verse 23, am I my brother's keeper? Okay, help your allies. Help your allies. We're going to do that later. So I asked Anissa Keys to come. I don't know where she at. Is Anissa around? Come on, girl. And she be working out and doing yoga and stuff, too. She's so pretty.
Hello. God is good. I first want to just thank Miss Sheletta, right, for giving us place and space to be able to share our stories as black entrepreneurs are huge. That's the first thing I want to do. My name is Anissa Keys. I am the visionary and founder of Aruba Emotional Health Services. For the past 10 years, Aruba has been in existence. We have about 4 locations. We had about 30 staff. A couple years ago, we hit the marker of hitting over $1 million in revenue in a year. That's something that only 4% of women-owned businesses ever achieve. That's probably a lower percentage for black women-owned business. We are powerful, right? And so yet despite those achievements for my agency, my journey as a black small business owner has been exhausting, right? It has been tirelessly working. I have been a part of the SBA Emerging Leaders cohort. I have been a part of the Women Ventures Scale Up program. I'm currently a part of CEO Next, and I have been around all of these amazing business owners that have really been like leading entrepreneurship and economic development. But I'm telling you, when I sit next to them, our stories are not the same. They're just not the same. Me being a black woman, me being from North Minneapolis, woo woo, sorry, I gotta plug that, right? Me being in the position to have to overcome so many more barriers, our stories, even though I'm sitting next to other business owners that are not reflective of where I come from, though we have the same means, it was a different story for us to get here. And that's really important because what I have been struggling with, things like unjust business practices that took me over 9 years in business to be able to even get a line of credit. 9 years in business, and I just told you guys what my revenue was. I'm sure that that is not the same for other counterparts that are doing business that don't look like me. There's also been this trauma of this multi-generational businesses that has really set me back and made a challenge for me to be able to overcome some of the challenges that I've been met with growing up in the communities that I've grown up in, right? Being around the folks that I've been around. And so my challenges have constantly been there, constantly been something that I've struggled with that is a different dynamic than what my other counterparts have had to. Really simply just showing up and existing as a black woman is challenging enough as a business owner. How do we know the relevancy of these things? We know that statistics show that black businesses are by far starting at a higher rate than any other ethnicity or background, but they're also failing at a higher rate than any other businesses that are backgrounds, right? And so we know that the discrepancies are there. We know that the discrepancies to access credit, to access capital, to be able to build wealth. Literally, these challenges build and fuel these disparities over and over again for us, time and time again. I love being a Black business owner. It's important. The challenges, the strides, right? The lessons that's learned, that's amazing. And yet it is not beneficial for anyone when Black business owners have to continuously battle against the racial and the systemic barriers that are regularly haunting our lives. Regularly haunting our lives. And then we have to turn around and overcome those same barriers in business. That's just completely unreasonable. Black businesses diversify the economy. Right in our neighborhood, we have the first female Black-owned plant-based restaurant in the state. Yes. She happens to be at the Black business ecosystem right in North Minneapolis in my building, praise God. Right? So we are branding and building a space where Black-led genius can increase the economic vitality of this state. But we can't do it without legislators that are pushing money in our direction, right? We cannot do it without each one of you. And so we need all of them to team up with us to be able to strategically address these systemic barriers that have been strategically placed in front of us, right? And create a strategic agenda to be able to get us the resources we need so that we can thrive in business. We don't need no handouts. I'm just gonna say that again. I don't believe Black business owners need handouts. We need somebody to recognize and then adjust their strategic planning to include us in the resources so that we can get what we need for all of us to be successful. Thank you so much.
All right now, everybody done had their Easter speech, okay? We done got up here and said Jesus wept. Now it is time to get to work. My team and I'm so grateful to Marsha Carter and Going Beyond, my sister, my husband, my girlfriend, Dr. Verna Lambers Fisher. We have created a unique schedule for each and every person in this room for you to go to the legislators and talk to them, to take a tour, to take a photo in front of the Nellie Stone Johnson statue. It is not lost on me that this amazing champion for civil rights and equality is behind me because she has always had our back. And some of her people are here today, Representative Mullery, her team there. So give Nellie Stone Johnson and her legacy a round of applause. You got your schedule. If you don't have your schedule, get it, read it. You got times on there. You got somewhere to be. We got to take care of our business because we got to go get this money. We got people to talk to. We are also serving lunch. Now, we got a little special treat I wasn't supposed to tell nobody this, but Dr. Verna said to go ahead and tell you. Since it's my birthday, instead of y'all giving me anything, we're going to give y'all something. The Minnesota Retailers Association has sponsored Dr. Verna's book, her brand new book, Power Lessons for Life, as well as Lambers Fisher's brand new book, Diversity in Clinical Practice. When you go to lunch, you are going to pick up a copy of one or the other of that book. It is on your schedule to do, and the authors are here to personally sign it for you. That's my birthday gift to y'all, thanks to our friends at the Minnesota Retailers Association. So I ain't got nothing more to say, Black people and allies. Read your schedule, find out where you're supposed to be, get to work, because today is Black Entrepreneurs Day at the Minnesota State Capitol, and we gonna show them how we represent. Now, if you get lost, I got some nice white people that got some signs. Hold up your signs. If you're going to the House, the lady's right there. If you're going to the Senate, the lady's right there. There's a lady with a sign that says tours. Nellie Stone Johnson's behind me. Find out where you're supposed to be. Find your white person. And let's go get this money. I love y'all. God bless y'all.